Welcome back, everybody, to our recaps and reviews, where we look back and we go, we watched this episode, and we're going to talk about it. The Moon Knight episode 6. Please leave a like.
Chattiker episode 2. We're going to have a big chat about the mysteries of Ethan Hawke's Arthur Harrow.
Yes.
Where is he? Where's he been? Is he in your dreams? Is he in that scene where he's running down the pyramid and jumping about like a big little rubber man? Is that him? Obviously not. No, it's not him.
Yeah.
Folks, let me tell you this.
What are you telling us?
If you started watching Moon Knight at episode 1 and you've gotten to this point and you're like, I kind of miss early on when there were a lot of fight sequences we didn't see. Boy, you're in for a treat because everybody gets one, I think.
Everybody gets one. You're absolutely right. Now, just to let people know what we're going to talk about, we're going to talk about the release of God, some new costumes, some new superheroes, an absolute, what I would call, disrespect to the legacy of Marvel that was not in this episode that we're going to talk about, the post-credits. Will there be a season 2? Probably, I would say. There's got to be something. And what we're going to do with these recaps moving forward, leave a like if you could. And thank you for those at Big Sandwich who heard this early.
Thank you very much. And folks, purple lasers.
We'll save it.
We're going to save it? All right. Okay, all right.
God damn, Mason.
Sorry.
I'm so... Oh. Anyways, this came in.
It was in the trailer.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the Marvel staple, isn't it?
Yeah, it sure is.
Anyways, this is the shortest, apparently, Marvel TV finale of these Disney Plus batch, coming in at 44 minutes. And it didn't feel too rushed to me in moments, in most of it, I should say, except for the scenes we didn't see, obviously. Mm-hmm. But then there were moments where, like, Stephen is very quickly rescued from the desert after he just fell into the desert.
Sure.
And if you watch these back to back, that happened like 8 minutes before. Do you know what I mean?
I guess so. That's true. But I mean, what are we going to do? Pan back to Stephen Grant just motionless in the desert?
Where's me mom?
Right? Where's me mom? Where's mom?
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right.
But we know he's going to get rescued.
Yeah, I know
Cut
that.
to the chase, as it were.
And I guess also, like, if it was a movie, they would do it. And I also appreciate kind of, some things you can speed through. Do you know what I mean? Things you kind of expect to happen, you could just be like, yep, just get to the thing, I guess. So Mark gives up on the afterlife. He's I mean, I would too. Because, like,
he's had a change of heart.
Yeah, but when like the reeds like disappear and then he's in the desert, I'm like, it's not that different. Just like an expanse of nothingness, sand.
Sure, right.
Some wheat. It's not great either way.
Yeah, but when you're in the reeds, sometimes the gods will look down and go, huh?
Pretty good.
Pretty good, right?
What do you think?
Right?
Yeah, it's pretty good. I don't mind it.
Yeah, thanks for these reads, man. This is great, actually. Thanks.
There's one thing that I love in a...
No one's told them that they would rather, a McDonald's.
Yeah, the
Reeds part, and there's a McDonald's.
But like international, so you can get
it's that point in the day where breakfast has finished.
Yep.
And main meals are still on, but if you ask nice, they'll combine like a McMuffin and a quarter pounder.
And you can get a beer. You can get a beer.
Yeah, hell yeah, you can get a beer.
So one thing that I do love, a trope we see it in a bunch of stuff, is like a council of nerds getting wrecked.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's a council of nerds not getting wrecked.
Well, that's true. Well, yeah, we don't really see it, but yeah, like your Jedi Council, your Council of Krypton. Do you know what I mean? I'm just a big fan of that.
The Security Council in Captain America Civil War, they get
that
mostly
is
wrecked.
True. You're absolutely right.
Not Civil War, the other one, Winter Soldier.
Another movie. If you like other movies, you should. There's other movies out there.
You're allowed to like them, yeah.
Yeah. What do you think of this?
If you're waiting for our permission to like other movies, you got it, buddy.
Permission granted.
Yeah.
Permission Stephen granted. What did you think of this, though, as a whole? Like as a wrap-up, as a season?
I think the characters grew on me.
Yeah.
I think initially, and I had certain preconceptions of the characters going in.
Yeah.
And I think... And, if you read comic characters on the page, you imagine them in certain voices, I think. And I always just imagined Moon Knight as just different flavors of psychopath.
Yeah.
And to have one of them be sort of a lovable British guy and so on and so forth kind of threw me initially. But I think I grew to like them, especially at the end in his sort of near to last action sequence where both Mark Spector and Stephen Grant were sort of integrated.
That was really fun.
See them swap between... Moon Knight and Mr. Knight, and we finally saw what I was hoping for in this series, which is kind of that long take action sequence where Mr. Knight is just wrecking a bunch of people with two big sticks.
In the suit.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Right to left, though, very unusual.
Oh, yeah.
Painfully unusual.
It probably meant something, like metaphorically.
Maybe, sure.
Maybe it did, yeah. What I thought was interesting that it turns out that Arthur Harrow and his like scales thing that he's doing to people, that's something that he truly believed in.
Yeah.
You know, because when he finally releases the crocodile woman, when his staff turned into a crocodile face, I'm like, ooh, we're going to get a big crocodile here.
Yeah.
This is going to be good. It was even bigger than I thought it was going to be, though.
Yeah.
Love the design on that crocodile.
Yeah.
It must be really hard to make a crocodile talk convincingly. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
I thought that was terrific. Just a very competently put together crocodile, you know?
Yeah.
For the small screen.
I mean, they could make a crocodile rock in like the 70s, but took this long to make it talk.
Yeah, exactly. And so as that's happening, of course, Layla releases Khonshu. I would have smashed a bunch of those gods out.
See
of
what
that.
you get, right?
I mean, is it worse? It's probably not worse.
Maybe.
Do you know what I mean? What's worse than a big crocodile doing a big like judging situation?
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just think let's see.
Yeah, but I love the juxtaposition, if you were, between like the ground level fight between Moon Knight and Layla and all the goons, and then this giant kaiju fight between Khonshu and the alligator woman. But once again, folks, movie and TV makers, once again, I must beseech you, if you are making a TV show or a movie with a kaiju scene in it, I beg you, just put one frame in where it's just two dudes in very obvious rubber suits smacking at each other. And the beauty of Disney Plus is you could not put it in every version.
Yeah.
Like some people would get it and some people wouldn't randomly. And then people would have the conversation of like, do you see there was just a second where there were rubber suits, and everybody else would be like, nah, man.
And then you rewind it and it's gone.
It's gone, yeah, right?
Yeah, absolutely. When I saw that, like a big bird skeleton fighting a big crocodile or alligator, it made me think about like this universe. And now that we're like 10 years on from like, or more than the Battle of New York, like in the timeline, do people like around the world look at that on the news and just go, fuck, whatever?
Yeah, I guess.
You know?
For sure.
Is this okay? Is this real? I don't know, whatever.
Well, if people haven't seen the channel Some More News, there are a couple of episodes based around news in the Marvel Universe. People should check that out. Like just people going, I don't know what's going. Who's the good guys? Who's the bad guys? I don't know. I mean, and also like it's been a decade of just this insanity, but also maybe they're already used to it because as we see this Marvel universe has passed.
Yeah,
it was happening in the 60s. It was happening in the 80s.
That's true.
Know?
Yeah, you're absolutely
maybe they're
right.
well past it. You know,
they're well oiled. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, they're all well oiled. Yes.
Okay, good. Did you like the moment where Stephen and Mark, they're reunited, and he's like, you know who you're the only superpower I've ever had. Hard disagree on that.
Well, he could fly and he could shoot all those crescents out. He's bulletproof. Yeah.
He can come back. He comes back from the dead.
Literally come back from the dead. Yeah. That's true.
I don't know. Just having an odd British man inside you.
Yeah, right.
It's not the same, really.
No.
Is it? Yeah, that's. Yeah, I know if I had to choose between those two things. Actually, weird British man following you around.
Right.
Yeah. It'd probably be annoying.
Okay, but it's Mr. Bean.
Yeah, that would be fun, I guess.
Constantly stalking you in a weird little car that he's driving from the roof. The monster from It Follows, but it's Mr. Bean.
So we also got Layla becomes her own superhero. So she becomes the avatar of the hippopotamus woman.
Yeah.
But of course, in the classic tradition of a hippopotamus, what kind of powers are you getting on that suit? I liked the suit, by the way. I liked all of that.
Yeah, great. Yeah.
Why though?
I love the color combo, like the gold and the steel and the white looked incredible. You'd think she'd get hippo powers. There was a moment there where I'm like, who's
stampy feet?
Yeah, I was like, because I'm like, who's she the avatar of? Because the voice in her head sounds like the hippo woman.
Yeah,
but why? I cannot wait for her to get this hippo costume, and then she just didn't. Maybe she represents the birds that.
That's what I was going to say.
That are on the top of a hippo when it's in marshland. Or
whatever. Yeah, absolutely.
Maybe
that
I guess.
Must be it. Exactly. Yeah. So do you think Ethan Hawke would have won that fight if he didn't have all that frozen air in his shoes? Sorry. We've already covered this.
Oh, yes.
It's glass. Glass is not frozen air.
No one's ever thought that or said that.
No, we've covered it. That's why.
Okay, we've definitely covered it, yeah.
Do you think he could have, do you think that would have been a more successful fist fight if he didn't have to run down the pyramid like a little rubber man?
He certainly got very sprightly, didn't he?
I don't think it affects him at all, right?
Yeah.
I mean, certainly not in this episode at least,
Or was it the presence of extra magic coursing through his magic stick?
That's what I mean, yeah.
That increased his powers there, I think, yeah.
I just found that really interesting, though, that he offered himself up as a sacrifice. Because I thought
you thought
I thought it was he knows it's bullshit, and he's just using it, and he's just using it as an excuse to kill people.
Well, I thought he would. I thought he did believe in it, but when the revelation happened and that God actually arrived, that he would have been like, actually, I don't want to be a sacrifice. I'm going to leave.
Yeah,
you know, one of those classic cowardly tail turns. But then he was like, no, kill me if you have to. I'm bang up for it.
I love it. I want to get trapped in a mind prison maybe also, if we can. If we can get that done before this 44 minutes are up, that'd be terrific. Yeah, so of course they team up and they beat him up, all three of them, because, you know, personalities. Maybe even an extra personality. We'll talk about that.
I mean, yes, definitely.
Yes, definitely, yeah. But I don't like the trope, speaking of tropes, where, you know, they've all killed 150 people to get here. Then they're like, don't do it.
Even in that scene, just crescents with flying in the necks.
So,
you know?
I mean, and not just
to sleep.
Yeah, to sleep. And not just like the third personality doing that. They're all having a go.
In there, yeah.
But like, that's the opportunity. Like, that's the guy, you know? If you get that far, that's okay.
Yeah.
You know? I
think so,
I mean, don't do any of it, obviously.
Yeah.
But if you get that far.
Yeah.
Maybe just, I don't know.
Yeah, but no, they must spare his life.
Temporarily.
Because he's the worst one.
He's the worst one. That's right. Yeah. Anyway, I want to talk about the absolute disrespect that this show, just a slap in the face.
I cannot wait to hear what
after
this is.
putting it in the trailers.
Go on.
Of not putting in the big purple laser shooting out the top of the pyramid.
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly we did get a glowing.
No,
we got a glowing tip of the pyramid.
I do not accept that.
We got plenty of laser blasts from the stick. We got a lot of purple smoke.
Fine, that's all good stuff. But but don't put the laser in.
Yeah, I know, but
I've been talking up this laser for weeks, Mason. I named one of the episodes a few weeks back, Get Ready for a Big Purple Laser. I used that as a YouTube title, Mason.
It's not the dumbest thing you've ever done, but also it's not a lie because we did get a big purple laser. It simply wasn't coming from a pyramid.
I do not accept that.
I know, James, I know that, look, I know what we all want is a big laser shooting directly, vertically up into the sky or down from out of the sky.
Whatever, yeah.
But, James, this stuff's got to evolve, man. I mean, you know, obviously some of the tropes must remain. There must be a laser of a certain color.
Yeah.
And sometimes two lasers of opposing colors that can come together and clash together.
Which one's stronger? Just whoever believes in it more, I reckon.
That's exactly right. Yeah, or who has more to fight for. Little oh, Papa. Use your big laser, you know.
Yeah.
But man, you gotta get with the times, man.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
you're right. But I just feel like somebody working on that show saw this, and this is a personal affront to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I know that's not true, but that's what it feels like.
Well, I mean, they could have taken it out in editing.
They definitely took it out. They definitely took because it was in the show.
Yeah. What if the big laser shot out?
Yeah.
Into the sky or out of the sky, right? And then Kevin Feige twirled around it like a pole at a strip club, and he's like, "Okay, but this is the last one." You'd be okay with it then,
Absolutely,
right?
I would be. Yeah. That would be terrific. Anyways, I guess I'm just gonna have to get over that. So seemingly, like it all wraps up pretty well initially.
Yeah.
So. I don't understand still, and I know that. And look, I couldn't.
Is this Souls related?
Yes, I couldn't find a definitive answer for this. Those people are like, well, it's obviously this, but the creators at the time of recording this haven't mentioned what is the deal with that psychiatric hospital. Whose mind is it? Right. Is it a collective dream that they're
everybody's
in?
sharing.
Is it an astral kind of plane?
Well, I mean,
what is it?
I think we're going to have to wait a few weeks until the creators and producers of the show have been just absolutely worn down to nothing by interviews, and they just say a couple of things, and some work together and some are contradictory, and then we argue over it a bit, and then we decide. But yeah, so like in this universe, some people who have another personality, that is a separate soul, I guess.
Yes.
And they can go together into this. Initially it was Mark and Steven's mind, that hospital. Yeah. And then Mark speaks to the Harrow in this universe, in this dreamscape, and he says, "You don't seem to know everything about," which would suggest to me that he is simply a projection of Mark's mind.
That's what I thought, yeah. And he's got the bleeding feet.
Yeah.
But then also, so that projection is also shocked that he's not real.
Yeah.
That's what I took it as.
I think he is a projection that was meant to be like pushing him down emotionally.
Okay, sure,
But then he comes to realize, no, it's actually, he's just invented that. And now that he's defeated Harrow in real life, the power he has over him psychologically is not real either. And he can just push him over, I guess.
Wake up and have two fish.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's what it's all about.
Wait, are Mark and Layla back together?
I don't know.
Great question.
They have a big hug and they say, "Oh, we're friends at least.
Yeah,
at least we're friends."
And then Stephen Grant's like, "Hello,
I'm here too." Oh, me too. I'm a big fan of Khonshu just wearing the Stephen Grant suit as well.
Right.
Even though he's like, I hate this guy, but he's like, but this is a good look.
Yeah, this guy's got some drip, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, absolutely. Anyways, the post-credit.
I'd wear this to the Met Gala. Tell you what.
Yes, it's very gauche or whatever. What was the theme?
Gilded Age.
Yeah, just big. They should have called it just a bunch of big pricks. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just awful stuff. You guys want to see awful stuff? I do. I love it. Anyway, so I knew the third personality was coming. Like after the last few weeks, last week in particular, there's a bit of like, are they going to have time to introduce a third character? Yeah. Is it something they're going to save for down the line? But then I saw the sarcophagus shaking in the previously on, and I'm like, oh.
And also, obviously, we had in a previous episode, we had a slightly different personality coming out of Mark Spector. Yep. And then in this episode, Moon Knight got especially brutal, or maybe he did. Maybe he just used foul language. We don't know because, it emerges that the third personality is, in fact, Jake Lockley, who in this is an evil chauffeur who loves to fire a gun with no visible recoil or report or shells coming out of the side.
He loves that, doesn't he?
He loves that. He's one of his favorite
things.
things.
He speaks Spanish.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. So they really went with a really distinct accent and language from the previous two, which I appreciated. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought, that to me, this all speaks to we're going to see more of this. And I think it's also, if Oscar Isaac didn't want to come back, you could cut it off here.
That's true, yeah.
Just to be like, well, two of them broke the deal with Khonshu, but there's a third personality that didn't. Because he was very careful to be like, okay, I released the two of you from my, from your promise or whatever. But that, like, he obviously knew what was going on the entire
sneaky
time.
dog, Khonshu. Whatever you are. What were you originally, Khonshu? You're a big bird, but what kind of big bird? An ibis?
Big bird?
Maybe it's Big Bird.
Maybe it was Big Bird. Yeah,
he certainly was a big bird.
He was, wasn't he? Yeah, I just think I think there's kind of too much left open here. Also, like Arthur Harrow could come back because anyone can come back.
True.
You know what I mean? In this universe,
except for all those men that Moon Knight killed.
But they're not main characters.
No, that's true. Yeah.
Anybody who's got a name.
I mean, it wouldn't shock me if he didn't come back in a second season, but he did come back in a movie. If they did
absolutely.
Kind of
it doesn't have to be a
If maybe there was another, Doctor Strange forms the Midnight Suns or some sort of magic-based Avengers.
Totally.
Maybe he would pop in there with a new Ghost Rider maybe.
Yeah. I mean, I'd love to see any of that, and I think, I would like more kind of shorter stuff. I know they're doing the Halloween special, the Werewolf by Night. Do like a one-off. Just do like, we're just going to do an hour Moon Knight thing or whatever.
Maybe just a small self-contained narrative, 2 hours long maybe. Yeah. You could get together with some people in a big room, watch it.
Exactly. And be like, wow. Wait, what do you mean by big room? Not a cinema, just a big room.
Just a big room, like a big, like where they store shipping containers or something.
Great, that sounds really
good.
The
docks.
The docks.
Go see a movie at the docks.
Terrific stuff. Anyways, if you've got any thoughts, theories, whatever, please leave them below. We just wanted to quickly talk about what we're going to do moving forward for these recaps.
And the answer is we don't know yet.
We don't know yet. Look, we were talking about doing Obi-Wan, which starts soon, but I kind of just want to watch Obi-Wan. Like I like kind of sitting with it for a while before talking about it. And you had the idea to shut everything down.
I said shut everything down. We're going to delete all these videos.
Ourselves into a river, you said.
Yeah, we'll go to the docks. We'll throw ourselves into the river. Watch that movie that we're talking about.
It's a show, I think.
Yeah, whatever. I don't care.
Yeah.
The important part is throwing ourselves in the river. Yes. But if we don't get around to that, what we might do is if Obi-Wan's a 6-episode season, so we might do a recap at the end of episode 3 and then one after the finale.
Yeah. Or like 2 and 2 and 2. Or and maybe something similar for Ms. Marvel, which is coming after that. Or we do like a wrap up of all of it. Or we don't do any of it. We don't know.
The river thing.
Yeah. And it's also like it's a lot for Collins to put these together because he does it so quickly.
That's true.
So we kind of don't want to kill him. We want to keep him around.
That's right.
Because he, I think, also wants to jump into the river with us. So we want to.
He suggested it.
No, but thank you so much, first of all, Mason, for doing this show with us. Thank you for people for that's you, Mason.
Oh, I looked around. But you're talking about me. All right.
Yes, that's right. And thank you, of course, to Collins for putting these together every week. Really appreciate it. The editing that he puts into these is incredible. And I acknowledge the fact that by me keeping talking and acknowledging him,
he has to keep putting in more clips
work.
And stuff. Yeah, right.
Yeah, increasingly complex clips. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, look, let us know what you'd like to see from any of this. We also have a podcast called The Weekly Planet where we talk movies and comics and TV shows. We have seen Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness.
It's true, we have.
We're not going to do any spoilers here, obviously, but on Monday we're going to go through there's a lot to unpack of that movie, and I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah.
Except for this one thing I'm going to say. No, I'm
but here's a little spoiler. I think we both liked it.
Yeah.
I think it's good and solid and very Sam Raimi.
That's right, exactly.
So in a good way.
Yeah.
So.
But if you do want to see that early, it goes up Sunday at bigsandwich.co, where there's also early videos, bonus podcasts, movie commentaries. It's like our Patreon. And so forth and goodbye.
Grab that jam, you guys. We'll see you next week.
Goodbye.